look at it later. All right, so I'm gonna teach you about 1 point perspective, but it won't be for a grade. It's just something that is good for you to know. And if you need to take a break, go ahead and take a break. I know we talked for a little bit, so this will be recorded. So how we're gonna do this is like how the rest of the class is gonna go is I'm gonna go through 1 point perspective, and if you have any questions afterwards, you can ask those questions, and then and if you need a demonstration, I can do a demonstration after that as well. Yeah, let me turn off this light real quick so I won't have this big shadow. No, it's this light. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's let's see if I can. It's still a little dark. This light. All right. It'll be a little bit of shadow, my shadow, my hair and everything. Okay. It's confusing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So again, like I said before, if you need to take a break, go ahead and take a break. Come back if you have any questions. If you have any questions during the demonstration, let me know. All right, 1 point perspective. 1 point perspective. This is an example of 1 point perspective. We're going to draw this. And what is 1 point perspective? 1 point perspective is when is when lines that are usually parallel recede back to 1 point on the horizon line. 1 point. That's why it's called 1 point perspective. So this all recedes at 1 point. So we're drawing something like a box, and we're trying to draw that in 1 point perspective. Now, obviously, you would have this box in real life. We know that, the lines don't recede, they go back, actually stay parallel. But to recreate it on a two-dimensional plane, those lines that are parallel, these are parallel, are now receding on the 1 point on the horizon line. So ruler is required to create the horizon line. Now, with the pictures that you're drawing from, the horizon is chosen already. It depends on the picture. All right, so started. So what you do is you create a box or a square. And I'm using a ruler because it's necessary. And then the next you draw the vanishing point from the corner. From all three corners. Some will be two, some will be one, some will be three, but it'll never be one. All right, in step 3, use the sides. Boom. And so that's 3 steps. And boom, just made a box and 1 point perspective. Let's do it again. So square, make it a rectangle, but still, I'd say make things a little simpler. And the next, line to the vanishing point from the corner. Line to the vanishing corner. Line to the vanishing point corner. And then step 3, size. Now with some of the pictures, some cubes, said cubes. And so there's some distortion. Sorry. There's some distortion when you're looking at a photograph. And so there's certain things you just have to know when you're drawing or recreating a one-point perspective view. So you just have to know. Like, for instance, the lines that are horizontal will always be horizontal. It's green for the ground. So that line, and that line. So they're horizontal, and they'll always be horizontal, and they will always be parallel. And the lines that are vertical, they will always be vertical. Always, always, always be vertical. And parallel to each other. So parallel means the lines never meet. So they go on for eternity and never meet. And the same thing in this direction. So we do the same thing above the horizon line. Bring this down so you can see it. So step one, draw the square. Step two, lines to the vanishing point from the corners. And in step three, establish size. So as far as the size is concerned, I'm making this up because it's off of my head and in memory. But you would use sighting and measuring to get the size of, if you're drawing a cube or something boxy. And let's say on the side here, okay. If we're drawing something that actually goes through both the top of the horizon and the bottom of the horizon, I should make it skinny so you can actually see what's going on. And so it's possible you might have done this in high school if you had an art program. Possibly. And so see, the reason why you should, certain things you just know, because your brain will get in the way. Like, so what you know about an object and what you see will get in the way. So for example, if I'm drawing the square, right? Or like a box like this, right? I'm drawing a box. Or you have a cube, because everyone has cubes just sitting around their house. And you try to draw it, and what will happen is your brain will be like, well, this is big, so that means the side has to be big. So you'll do this, and you might do that. And then you'll be like, oh, oops. Sorry, I got a phone call. Jeez. All right. So your brain will be like, oh, that's what it's I think supposed to look like, and you'd be like, well, that doesn't seem right, but I don't know how to fix it most of the time. Some people are looking at this thing and like, well, what's wrong with that? There's a lot wrong. So these lines are receding, and so they have to eventually meet. Like Jake's Jake Jacques Malone's the love of his life. They're going to eventually meet. So they're going to meet at a point eventually. So boom, boom, and then boom. So now here we can see. I'll use the colors so it'll be a lot easier. Oh well. Now we can see a little easier. So now they're going to meet. So that's why you just have to know certain things when it comes to 1 point perspective, because what you see and what you know will get in the way. So you just have to just rely on what you know. Also, a good tool to use is sighting and measuring. So when you're drawing a side or a plane, is what they call, and you focus on just the plane, you'll see just that shape. So this is like a weird looking, it's like a spear or like a weird diamond shape. If we look at just that shape, we can see, it's very small too. So we look at the whole thing, we can see it's the side of the box. But when you're sighting and measuring, you can then sight and measure so you get the right size and also the right angles too. And so here's certain things you just have to know. 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 Just have to know. It says like objects above the horizon line appear to get smaller and move downward. So we look at the boxes above. Now, in reality, we look at the box and we know. Where is this up? No, that if we were to measure this box, right? We got a ruler here, right? You measure the box, it's the same, the back and the front, right? But to make this look, to oh my gosh, I can't talk straight. To recreate this on a two-dimensional plane, it actually gets smaller as it gets back. Watch this. You watching this? Watch this. See my fingers? Boom! Look at that. Look at all that space. Look at that space in between here and here. See that? You think it's a magic trick? You think I'm doing magic? Does it look magic to you? It's not magic. Did I look at that? Oh, that's not straight. Also, see that now. So this has to be parallel. Oh, okay, it's a little off. I noticed that. It can't be angled. The same thing from the each side, each plane. So here and here. I didn't move. Did I move? Did I move my fingers? I didn't move my fingers closer. You thinking it's a magic trick? Maybe I sold my soul to the devil to get these powers. That is not the case. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Same thing on the side. Boom, boom. I am not a mutant from Marvel. That's just how it happens, people. So there's some more to just the nose. So horizontal lines will always be horizontal and parallel to each other. So the horizontal lines are the lines that go across. Think of the horizon line. We think horizontal. Vertical lines are will always be vertical and always go up and down. Always be vertical. And parallel. Objects below the horizon line appear to get smaller and move upward towards the horizon line. So you just have to know these things. So like when you're on the box, and then let's say we're drawing a box. Oh, let me put it actually in the frame so you can actually see what I'm doing. Wouldn't that be something? All right. So drawing a box, and even if the lines are receding, and they're parallel, that's still wrong. They eventually have to meet. They have to meet. They have to. Jake, they have to. They have to meet. There might be a third person that you might have to fight to the death so you two can be together. But they have to. You see the major difference. See all that? The reality is that those lines have to meet. That is 1 point perspective. And I'll put these two sheets up so you can actually see them on your own. And I'll have this video up.